And today we are starting a series because I've been speaking about the reality of God. And we've been looking at paradigms, we've been looking at perception, and we've been looking at the reality of God. Because a paradigm, as I've taught you, is a model. As we all know if you study the word itself. And our models need to change, our models need to shift, because we are modeled behind something that may have come to us due to our education or religious background or parental, teachings, or teachers who called us all sorts of names, whatever, who put us in a corner for being dumb and declared us dummies. So whatever that paradigm that went into your subconscious needs to be removed, and the paradigm of Christ needs to come in. He is our paradigm. Jesus Christ is our paradigm. He is our normal. He is our model. And so we need a shift for our soul to be well, because the Bible says in 3 John verse 2 that we are only prosperous and in good health, even as our soul prospers. And so what we are looking at today is the commencement of something that would help you. Oh, the Reverend's taken out. Now it's doctor. Okay. Next week we may have Bishop.
Right. Is it a problem?
Yeah, no problem.
That's correct.
Yeah. The physics of faith.
I just thought if it's physics, then it must be a
That's
doctor.
correct. Doctor, compare the physics.
The physics of faith. Now, why the word physics? Or even, it could even be the mechanics of faith. Because what I want to help you understand, because the more you come to know the way it works, you will know the ways of God. And when you know the ways of God, you'll know how it works. And I will lay foundation today, and I will take you into something pretty weird. But don't worry, quantum physics is weird. It comes against the grain of Newtonian physics. Newtonian physics, you know, Isaac, right, Newton, who suddenly discovered gravity by the fall of an apple. And everything began to revolve around physics. Now, physics is the study of science. It's the analysis of a matter. And so, he began to study this, and he suddenly realized that what goes up must come. And so everybody began to walk in that world, because they were being taught to walk in that world and accept gravity. And thank God for gravity, because that's a law of God, and because of gravity you and I are seated or standing today. Otherwise we'll be floating immediately. But I want you to turn your Bibles to 2 Kings. Yeah, the New Testament has a lot for us to learn. Not the Old Covenant. The Old Covenant, rather than... Sorry, I'm getting my words a little jumbled because something's happening already in me. Okay. The Old Testament has a lot to teach us, not the Old Covenant. And never discard the Old Testament. Okay? There are a lot of people who teach, no. The Old Testament is done away with. No. The New Testament is built on the Old Testament. The first 5 books of the Bible were the only books that were dictated by God Himself. And we need to take that very seriously. Dictated. Not inspired, but dictated. And Jesus lived on that. And out of that comes some powerful moments. which we will see later on. But let's look at the Old Testament and see 2 Kings. And 2 Kings is a representation or a representation of the power of God coming upon the church. And you remember, Elijah is about to leave. And there's a man called Elisha who later on we learn was honestly washing the hands of Elijah. He was known as the servant who washed the hands. That's all he's known as. And Elijah is about to leave. Miraculous. Elijah is saying to Elisha, I want you to know something. Because Elisha is wanting a double portion. He's wanting Elijah's mantle, Elijah's power. And he tells Elisha, if you see me, go. If you see me, go. You will receive. I want you to hear those words. I'm paraphrasing. The mechanics of faith begins with a spoken word. I want you to go back at some point of time and read the number of times in the very first chapter of Genesis, the very first book. How many times does it say, God said, God saw? God said, God saw. Because that's how quantum physics works. And that's how the mechanics of faith works. The physics of faith works by when you speak. Now, speech doesn't come without a thought. And it's like everybody, what you do is you put your foot where you, or you put your mouth where your foot is, or your foot where your mouth is, or whatever. Foot mouth or mouth foot or whatever. You put in your... But that's how faith works. That's the mechanics. That's the fundamental works of... It's just like quantum physics. Now when quantum physics came into being, Newtonian law went out of the window. It's still there. But Newtonian law taught about the natural laws that govern the universe. Quantum physics goes beyond that, and it says, hey, we are not being governed by the natural laws. There is something beyond that. And it brought under the microscopic lens the atom. And as it began to see this atom, it saw that the atom split into what is known as subatomic. That means it was not just in one place, it was all over. The laws of physics teaches us that local. But quantum physics speaks about non-local. And you can be in two places at one time. And everything around you is all moving. It's energy. The chair you're sitting in is energy. And if you have the knowledge and the power to see under microscopic lens, you would see that this chair is nothing but pure atom. And as you bring it under the microscopic lens, it's nothing but energy. You're sitting on nothing, by the way. You're sitting on nothing. Can you believe that? Not possible. Why? Because the natural seeing eye does not allow us to see that. And that's why faith, you walk by faith and not by sight. Got me?
Yes.
So when quantum physics came in, it taught us something about God. And science needs, Christianity needs to embrace science today. And not discard it and say that it's an enemy. No, it's actually proving the existence of God and the existence of a non-local reality called heaven.
Amen.
So now this man is saying, if you see me, upon you will come my mantle. You know what Jesus told his disciples? He said, I go to the Father. And on the Mount of Olives, they were looking at him. And he was ascending. Supernatural. He was ascending. Now, everything about this ascension of Elijah was razzmatazz, charisma, and powerful splendor and majesty. Chariots. Chariots. And the problem with you and me, and that's why I love this man's testimony, Jacob's testimony. He placed the responsibility of that on God, not on any man. You see, the problem with you and me is that we place the messenger greater than the message. And we get caught up in this razzmatazz and this awesome rock and roll that's going on. And there were chariots of fire. Have you ever been there? Have you ever seen that kind of a phenomenon? But what did Elijah say to him? He said, if you see me, and that's what Jesus said. And that's what Veronica brought about in 1 John chapter 3. Behold what manner of love the Father has for us. Behold it. Behold it. Because what you see is what you become.
Yes.
What you believe is the way you will behave.
Yes.
And so as Elijah is going up, this man is totally unconcerned, totally oblivious of the razzmatazz around him and all that. I don't think Elijah would have gone like a whiff of smoke. There would have been a whoosh and heaven and chariots of fire and noise. But he keeps his eyes. He's an observer. That's quantum physics. What you observe becomes a particle. And as he kept his eyes on Elijah, he shouted, my father, my father, because he felt the power and he received the power. When Jesus said, you shall receive power, that's what they kept looking at. And Luke chapter 24 says, as he kept going up, he kept blessing.
Yeah.
As he kept going up, he kept blessing. And you know what? The church or Elisha received a double portion. Because Jesus said, greater works than these shall he do because I go to my Father. Unfortunately, the church has got so entangled with doctrine rather than relationships. And we are more concerned about whether we are right or wrong rather than righteousness of who we are meant to be in Christ Jesus. Are you listening, folks? So I want you to come today with almost absolutely nothing. Don't have preconceived ideas. Because when God spoke, there was nothing. Just a thought. And that thought took the form of words. And he said, be light. And there was light. And then he saw. You know why? Because that's the operation, the mechanics of faith. Are you ready for this? We're going to it in detail, but here it comes. Believe. What does Jesus say in Mark 11? He says, believe. Believe what? Believe what you say. Believe. That's the first one. That's the thought. Now put it into words. Believe. at your own words, because your own words, the power of the tongue, will create a world for you to see. And if you and I have the wisdom and the knowledge, we will speak nothing but God's word, and God's word is creating power. He said, if you believe, and notice how many times in there, Mark 11, it says, from verse 22 onwards, he says, first of all, have the God kind of faith. Now, what is the God kind of faith? It's the faith of a mustard seed. Listen, if Jesus was here today, he would say this. If you have the faith of a cork, Q-U-A-R-K, or what the quantum physicists use. It is the slightest, tiniest molecule within the subatomic world. So Jesus was speaking quantum physics because he is himself quantum physics. In him is all knowledge. From him all things were created. Through him, he is the Word, eternal. In the beginning was the Word. Are you with me? He is the Word. And so he's speaking, saying, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, if you have this faith, this tiny little thing, you will be able. Now what's his next statement? When you say, receive it. That means visualize it, accept it, see what you're saying, and begin to put form into it. Did you get the little steps? That's exactly what quantum physics is talking about. Because it says when you bring it under the microscopic, this is not a lesson of science, okay? I'm not PhD in quantum physics, but when you put it under microscopic inspection, it's called what is known as vague duality. That means there is matter, but there is also material but immaterial. And when you focus, or when the observer looks at it, when the observer, who is a physicist, looks at it, it either collapses or it brings it into form. That particular particle which is floating everywhere. Because if you look at an atom and you break it up, you know what you get? Have you seen that the atom under microscopic or in pictures, it's got some like floating objects, right? Here, there and everywhere. And then in the very center of it is a tiny little dot. That's the particle. But when you look into it, it's everywhere. But when you observe, when you what? Observe. Will you turn your Bibles to Deuteronomy 28? I want to show you something. Verse 2. It's awesome, right? Yeah. When you observe, you are bringing form into it. The power of observation. So God spoke, and as he spoke, he saw. And then he said again, it is good. Hello? Yes. So what does it say in Deuteronomy 28 verse 2? Verse 1. Look at verse 1 to begin with. It says, if you observe, doesn't he say that?
Normally, chapter 2, verse 1.
No, 28, verse 1. If you what? Observe. Yeah? To observe. The word obey is the word listen. It comes from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 that says, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one God. Hear, listen, give ear. Listen and follow. That's what hear means. Not listen and let it be thrown on a duck's back. So when you observe what? What is it say? To do all that he has commanded. Now what's the greatest command? Love. The new covenant command is to love. It's a threefold action of love. God, yourself, man. Okay? But let's get back. When you observe to do all that I have commanded, verse 2. All these blessings will do what? Come and overtake you. How? Come on. And you read Deuteronomy 28. Forget the curses, okay? Because he's redeemed us from the curse of the law. We're now living only in the blessings because Ephesians chapter 1 verse 3 says, blessed be the... Now listen. All these blessings will what? Overtake you. Follow and overtake you. You don't go behind blessings. They will come behind you. Now, notice what it says in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed be the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has what? Blessed us. He has what? Blessed. Already, that means it has already overtaken us. Yes. We're already in it. Yes. All we got to do is to observe. Ah, come on. All we have to do is to keep looking at it. And then we give it form and shape. That's what quantum physics does. In a nutshell. There are many other things. It's called the observer. The observer. And suddenly as he begins to look at this tiny little one, it either collapses or it immaterializes. So what did God do? When he spoke, everything that was already there, he called into being. Romans chapter 4, verse 18, verse 17. He called into being things that be not, just as though they were. What did he do? He called, he spoke, he commanded, he called. He said, come on, come into being. Faith, the bottom line of faith is, please hear me, foundation, doctrinal aspect of faith is always in the goodness of God. Faith is always in the goodness of God. So that you may never waver in that. Yeah, no matter what happens, God is. No matter what happens, God is. Because God is not quantified in the natural realm. Now watch this, right? Elijah moves up. This guy, Elisha, gets everything, and man, beginning from chapter 2, there are weird stories. There are weird stories. Chapter 6 is even more weird. You know, when there's polluted water, you know what Elisha tells the people to do? When the pot of stew is poison, you know what he tells them to do? Throw some flour into it. Does he say don't eat? No. What did Jesus say? If you believe, and if you drink poison, what would happen? Now, I'm not asking you to go and drink poison, okay? He said, if you by mistake, now I know, my dear wife, once upon a time, and I had drunk poison. She's not my poison. She's my wife, my beautiful other part, and without her I'm incomplete. Now watch this. She once put some pesticide, I think, or something for the plants into a jug of water. Got it. Because any water I see, I drink. And it's in a jug, and it was nice. I thought she had even put some grapefruit juice. It was pink. So I drank it. It was a weird taste, but never mind. To me, it was grape juice. By what I believed, I converted it. Nothing happened. The next, she comes home from school and she says, "Where's this water?" I said, "I drank it." Nothing happened to me, not even a slight drip of indigestion. You know why? Because the Word of God is written in me. That if I drink poison, it shall not harm me. I've eaten squid in its own juice. Have you? Nothing. As I tell people, I have a missionary stomach and an international tongue. Based on the Word of God. Because everything you give thanks over it becomes good, awesome. Everything. So Elijah goes, "This is weird, man, this is weird." And the potters too. To the flock. Water is polluted. Do something. But here's what is even more weird. Chapter 6. An axe has fallen into the river. And he goes down. The axe goes down. And the servants come running and say, "Master, alas." All English, yeah? He says, "Master, master, we've lost the axe." This guy doesn't employ divers. Pearl divers, and there were plenty of them around then. Right? Pearl diving. He does something that is absolutely amazing. He throws a tree into the water. All he asks is, "Where did it fall?" And he goes there, he throws a tree there. And guess what? The laws of Newtonian physics go shattering because the axe floats up. Nothing that goes down can come up according to natural law. Yes. But beloved, you and I don't belong to the natural laws of life. And that's the calling of the church. Bring up those who are down and lift them up. Don't keep them down. Don't keep them down. Lift them, lift them, lift them. And we do it through the cross. The tree of all trees. Through the tree of life. We lift them up. As we speak the word of encouragement, word of love, word of faith. We don't go and whack them and say, and look, this axe is borrowed. We don't go and say, "Serves you right for borrowing. Now pay through your blooming nose." Yeah? That's our attitude, right? When people make mistakes. Sometimes we grovel in it and revel in it. Serves them right. Let them suffer. It looks like we have a martyrdom complex. We want others to suffer as well. Rather, lift them up. Lift them up. Galatians chapter 6, the law of lift up. We don't belong to the law of spirit, sin and death. We belong to the law of the spirit of life in Christ Jesus, a higher law. We are not pulled down people. We are raised up people. We who were dead are now raised up. And there are we with him in heaven.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
We don't belong to this world, beloved.
Yeah.
We don't belong here. But we are here to change it, to transform it, so that we can hasten the completion of his coming.
Yes.
We're not here to go to heaven. Hello? We are here to bring heaven on earth. You sang that song, did you really believe it?
Yes.
You could not keep heaven to yourself. You shared it with us. But hey, we don't want to share yet. So what does quantum physics say? What does natural law say? Physics, gravity. Quantum physics, you jump from the second floor, what do you think will happen? You just drop dead. That's a natural law. But then quantum physics says, and I'm not asking you to do this, right? Quantum physics says, no, you can raise it. You can fly. You can fly. That's called the the law of aerodynamics, or the law of liftoff. And thank God for that, because our planes are flying. You with me? Hello? This is the world we live in. The world of non-locality. We're in local, but we're in a non-locality. Where God is, we are. We're seated with Him. We reign with Him. We move with Him. We live with Him. We are God's expression on earth. Yes. So how does this faith work? Faith. I'll show you one more, and then very quickly I'll tell you how it works. Right? Will you turn with me to Matthew chapter 14? This is amazing. This is amazing. Matthew chapter 14. You with me there?
Yes.
And from verse 22, Jesus walks on water. Hey, come on. You try it. Try it. As soon as you put your foot in, you go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the law of the natural form of living. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now watch this, okay? As he comes towards them, they think he's a... You know, it means they saw something that was formless, that was like a cloud. You know what quantum physics talks of? It talks of cloud. That all these things are in a cloud until you put form to it and you bring it down. The author of quantum physics is walking now, but they see him as a cloud, like something, a ghost, like an avatar. Now Peter is a funny guy. Peter puts God where he should be. He puts Jesus in the corner. Do you know? You never saw the scriptures like this. So let me explain. You know what he said? If it's you, if it's you, bid me come. Now can Jesus not say come? If Jesus did not say come, Peter would have thought that's a ghost.
Yes.
But now watch Peter, see what Peter is doing. Peter, without knowing it, is putting form to what he... Hello? Come on. See.
Yeah.
So he sees some particles moving in the cloud. And he's now putting form and he's shaping it through his... And you're getting the mechanics of faith. And he says, if it's you, bid me come. Now could Jesus say, no, it's not me? Could Jesus have kept quiet? Peter put him in the right place. Now some people say, maybe he put him in the wrong place. It doesn't matter whether right or wrong. Jesus spoke. And as Jesus spoke, the waters solidified. Come. This is awesome. And you say, how could that be? Well, take some water and put it in a fridge, you know how it could be. And do you see what's happening inside? When it's getting frozen? Do you see the wave particles? Do you see, you put a frozen thing into a microwave oven, what will happen? Turns back into water. Hey, but listen, water is made up of two gases. Could you see the gas? Two portions of what? And do you see that? But what you see is water. Because it was brought into form Hello. Through science. And God, who created science, who is the science for science, speaks and says, come. I'm going to show you something. And Peter starts walking. And Peter is walking not on water but on the word of God, which has created, solidified the water, and he's walking on it. And then suddenly his observation, now he's observing this, his observation moves in the wrong direction. And he observes the what? The storms and the waves. His observation changes. And what happens?
He sings.
He didn't sing. He began to sing. That's what it says there. Read it there. Read it there. Who begins to sink, man, when you put your foot in the water? Will you begin to sink?
Yeah, you just got it.
Did you? Hello, listen. He's beginning to sing. That means the power of the creative word is still in operation. But because of his lack of observation of it, he's now going down, 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 down. Your down, my down doesn't go immediately, beloved. Your down and my down takes time, you know. Gradually. Sin does not come before us and say, "Woo!" There comes a thing called temptation. What is temptation? A wrong thought. Go back to Genesis 1, you get that. To Genesis 3, you get that. Hello?
Yes.
Because they fail to observe what God said. Out of every tree you can eat, none of them. How? But the moment the observation went on to that tree,
Yeah. Yeah.
with me?
Yeah.
So this guy began going. But thank God he had the sense to call out.
Yes.
And then he was lifted. And now watch this. They now both begin to walk into the Hey, it's still there. The blessings of God are all over. He's never removed the blessings from us. When He spoke, it's there, it's all over us. All we have to do is to observe, and they will overtake us. And we will be filled with every necessity for life.
Yes.
2 Peter chapter 1 verse 3, that He has blessed us with pertaining to life and godliness. That's a promise. We need to keep it. We don't go away. Now watch this. Fourth, with the basic mechanics, basic physics of faith. It's not, I believe, and yet inside you it butterflies. Believe not. The moment you say, will it not, what are you doing to thy belief? You're destroying it. You're breaking it down. The moment you keep saying, I have faith, I have faith, I have faith, I have faith, you're breaking it. Because your declaration is, I have faith, is actually in the subconscious state, is I have done.
Yes.
That's why I'm trying to prove to myself I have faith. Hello?
Yes.
So it begins where? In the thought. Now as it begins in the thought, you speak it out. As you speak it out, you together, you have God's DNA. If He called things that be not just as though they were, then you have that authority. So you now call it, you what? Speak it, and you say, come! Because it's there. Faith is the what? Faith is not blind. Faith is the substance. It has substance, beloved, of things. What are the things? The word things in the Greek word means that which has been done.
Wow. That's good.
It's a title deed. It's already being done. All I got to do is walk in it by calling it, commanding it. So here, and we'll go into it, don't worry, this is just the beginning. We will light it come again next week and press like on the YouTube. So you think, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So you think. And you think in heart, right? Not mind. Not intellectual. It's heart. And you think in your heart, and then you do what? You speak. And as you speak, you begin to focus on what you're saying. That's how I worship God, actually. I don't listen to the tune. I listen to the truth. So as I was worshiping today, I was looking at this amazing mountain, the white of the mountain. And I literally saw, I kept focusing, and I saw a fig with its hands stretched out. Now it's worship. You know why? Because I give form to what I say. It is well with my soul. Now you can only say that and go back home. Or do you really believe and give it form? You were touched today. As Jacobus prayed and declared, as we pray. Did you give form to your healing? Did you call it? Did you receive it? All you got to do is what? Receive it. And receiving is seeing. So believe, that's the thought. Speak. And then give it form and receive. That's the dynamics of faith. That's the mechanics of faith. That's the physics of faith. And that's what quantum physics is all about. You begin to observe what's already there. And then you, as you observe, begins to form. Whether it's money, whether it's jobs. And I'm observing and I'm seeing, you know, I want you to know something. This is amazing. Some time ago, the elders, we met. And we said the church, remember this here, was lacking in numbers. But we removed the lack and we began to see how we can make it happen. Ever since that time, we've seen it grow. Because our focus, our observation is no longer lack, but growth and addition. God is adding to His church. He is in the addition business, not the subtraction. He never gives and takes away. That is Job's words, not God's. Job said he gives and takes away. And that's what you do at funeral services. What God has given, He's taken. He never takes what He gives. That's an arbitrary God. He only gives and gives and gives and gives. Amen? Amen. So those are the mechanics. That's just a little. You go through it and you will see before you know. As you receive this word and believe it, you will see yourself growing and glowing from glory to glory, from faith to faith. Amen? Amen. Bless you.